Chris and Jennifer are gone, so. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any questions about the agenda? No questions, just need a motion to approve.
I'll make motion.
I will second.
Moved by Trevor, or Dustin. Second by Trevor. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, public comment. All right, and admin reports, Ms. Jolene, you're first.
I didn't know if y'all had any questions on the cash report I sent you. Apparently, I've been supposed to have y'all look at it all this time. So, 8 years later, here it is.
On which one?
Cash report. This is what I send to the PED every quarter. Basically shows our revenue, expenses,
The consolidated report?
the PED cash report, 25-26. It's just like a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
It may
I see
be
it
really
right
small
with
on
the
your
hour.
screen because I sent the signed one. I didn't know if y'all had any questions on it all. It basically takes all of our funds and then it balances it to the bank, our bank account, just so that they can see that our GL is balancing our bank.
So we're supposed to approve it with the budget adjustments and stuff? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if you have to approve it really,
Or just
per
review it.
se.
Just review it like we do all these other things?
Yeah, I didn't know if y'all wanted to start looking at it, and if you have any questions, let me know, but. And it's supposed to get posted to our website, so I'll be getting with Daniel to find a spot for that. That last page is what it shows is like our request for reimbursements on federal funds. Basically, our operational is loaning out the money until we get reimbursed is what that looks like.
The third page?
The last page.
Oh,
Other than that, I just had a few budget adjustments on the other page. Just some salary lines, moving that around, and the bond, since we've been using a lot of bond here lately, I need to move some money around to get the funds looking shorn up. And also, we got a reauthorization for a capital improvement fund. I'll just let y'all approve it as a budget adjustment. We really can't use it now, per se. What it was Ms. Reyes had gone out for capital outlay to fix our roof at central office. And also the roof, what else was it?
So it was $120,000 to be able to do the roofing project at central office. However, we only used $45,000 of that, leaving $74,000. So in order for us to not lose that money, what I had to do is go back to the legislation and be able to get a reauthorization. So what I requested was to be able to use it for the high school roof, to be able to repair that. However, because there's some other, and later on I will talk about some of the updates for the new school. I mean, it would just defeat the purpose to be able to use to be able to fix a roof when it will probably be demolished like in 6 months for the high school. So what I did, I contacted PED today, and I also contacted the legislation. And they are going to allow me to be able to reauthorize these funds to be able to use it in another, a different project, which it will not be here at the school because again, if it's going to be demolished, there's no need for us to do that. However, my plan is to be able to use it over at the football field. And then, but we still have to be able to approve this $74,000 as it's in there. And then the reauthorization, I have to submit it by February the 1st. If it gets approved, we should be able to see those funds like July the 1st. So the funds are there now. The only thing is that I just think it will defeat the purpose to be able to use them and then for the high school to be demolished pretty soon.
It's not earmarked money,
Excuse me?
It's not earmarked, if we can use it how we need for
I
improvements.
wish we could, and unfortunately, yes, it is. If like for example, I requested for the high school, it can only be used for that.
Gotcha.
So when I requested for central office, I also requested for other projects, like to be able to fix our bathroom, and that was denied. And then also I requested to be able to get a new AC unit, that was denied. So basically, they just gave us $120,000 to be able to fix the roof. They wanted us to get a brand new roof, but then what we did, we just pretty much kind of Band-Aids, because for a new roof, over $120,000 for it to be demolished, it's just. Either pedestrian or Mr. Trump.
Okay. And I guess that's all I have, really.
Any more questions from Mr. Strong?
Oh, the auditor's gonna be here on January 5th. I'm not sure who all he's bringing, but. We'll see how that goes.
Alright.
He's cutting his time short, because I think he's gotta have it in by the 20th.
That's good for us.
Well, I don't know, because it won't give us any time for.
We'll see. I don't know what to expect, you're a new guy and all, I'm not sure.
You only use the same one twice?
Actually, I found out, I thought we could only use Pam for 8 years, but the last meeting we went to, actually the state auditor sat with us at our table, and somehow the subject came up. He said that he has had him do it another year, but I'd already hired this other guy anyway, so hopefully it works out.
It'll be good. Okay. Mr. Barbie.
State Fire Marshal came on November the 19th. Inspection went pretty good. Mostly little things like too many extension cords and places, so we're ordering tire strips to put in where the cords are. Also in the elementary, they failed the fire alarm system because the horn and strobes were not in sync. I have Cam Security coming tomorrow to work on them. I'm hoping he'll get here about 6 so we can start on it. Try to get the horns blasted before the kids get in. And hopefully we'll get the situation resolved. We have 30 days. I also got a quote for the sprinkler system at the track field coming in at $43,773.40. But this guy's not CES, so I've got to get 2 more quotes. AK Sales is supposed to give me a quote. We're about 90% through hauling the dirt away at the track field. And then Friday, we're going to extend our drop-off lines for the elementary, so they will be ready when school resumes after the New Year's. Still waiting on roads to put in our water softener system.
Where's that going?
In the cafeteria.
questions? Nope. SRO Coulter.
So you've got,
Spent.
They said
Oh, I did.
SRO. they didn't
And
say
so the
special
answer was first time.
You either one, it don't matter.
No.
special is fine.
Want me to say something?
Sure.
Threw me off, you said that.
I skip it, it's hard to see.
Hey, everybody. So everything is, as we wrap up this semester, everything's in order. Every IEP and all the emails are, nothing's late. Our 80th day corrections were completed this morning. PED is really trying to search for some errors, and they're really stretching it, and we had 3, and I blame PED for all 3, they're not us. That's a long story. January, we're already said we have 12 IEPs already scheduled. We got trainings coming up. I'll be going to the state Winter Academy in January. The case managers and me will be going to a training in Artesia put on by the CES. And then they're also, and myself, doing a training by the OSC in March. And really the only other thing is if, just a shout out to Daniel Sanchez, who's doing a really great job. He knows that NOVA system, and he's horribly polite with the people from PED, unlike myself. And he's really doing a great job. Really great with collaborating with everybody. So, if Santa had put somebody on the nice list, it'd be Daniel. So we see him say, good job. Any questions?
Questions for me? Thank you. Hi, Coulter, it's your turn.
We've had a lot of moving parts on the campus, got construction on the corner, helping drop off and pick up. We've gotten 6 vapes this month. Daniel and I have been talking, he believes that the vape sensors that we just got will be able to configure into the new system as well. So we're just waiting to hear back from that company before we move forward on that. And if it does, then we'll probably be able to pull more vape sensors, and you can allocate the rest of that money for more cameras. So we'll switch off on that. Come 1st of January, we're gonna extend the drop off and pick up. We've already talked about that. It gives us at least about 9 more cars to come off the main road. We're not congested at the 4-way. That's working it'll work better. Right now, we're pushing a lot of cars through until the bell rings. So elementary's doing great. Getting my kids out and stuff. Other than that, I have nothing else, unless you have any questions.
Where's the drop off extended to like
Just
system
gonna go,
office?
so from this ramp right here, this crosswalk, we're just moving up to the next ramp.
Next one, okay.
I don't know if you noticed that we removed some of those bushes, like right in front of the central office. I mean, they were pretty beat up, but it actually looks pretty good.
All the way up to the first speed bump.
Yes,
Finish line, where you want to call it again. Those are brutal.
that's the big.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you. Elementary.
So my update, so student enrollment currently, we have 210 students as of today. And with instruction and assessment, we have completed middle of year benchmarks using IMASA, Amir, and IXL. And then for professional developments, I and 3 other teachers attended RISE Professional Development, where we focused on standard-driven planning and some effective ways to run PLCs. And that was done in Albuquerque. Several teachers completed Canvas courses around structured literacy. And then we had all of our kindergarten through 3rd grade literacy teachers participate in or in building on professional development. And then they're also going to come back in January to finish up and add some more to that training. And that was using our structured literacy funds that we were granted by the state. For student support and special education, we had multiple auxiliary special education staff and teachers that's got some specialized medical training based on one of our students that's in the preschool. And then we had our out of school activities. We have math tutoring that's already begun, and that's on Monday and Wednesdays. We have Lady Cats that Coach Scott is doing with 5th grade girls, and then Bogorico with 4th and 5th grade, and then guitar, which has 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students participating. For family and community engagements in November, we had PTO hosting the Christmas shop where students were able to purchase gifts for their family members. And then we have our Christmas program tomorrow, which will be during the day, which will be preschool or 1st grade singing Christmas songs from 12 to 1, and then 2nd through 5th grade doing their Christmas songs from 1:30 to 2:30. And I also have my business report, and I'm doing that right now or later on. Okay. And that is it. I stand for questions.
Questions? Okay, middle school and high school, somebody,
I got you.
hey, Ron,
Yeah, and Cody sent me all these notes, so this is coming from her. Enrollment, middle school, we have 26 6th graders, 32 7th graders, 26 8th graders for a total of 84 students at the middle school. In the high school, 14 9th graders, 22 10th graders, 25 11th graders, and 27 seniors for 88 at the high school, total of 172. Attendance for November was excellent, 94.4%. Every single grade had above 90. 7th grade was the lowest with 90.6% attendance rate. And then the highest continues to be our seniors, 96.8%. Total attendance average up to this point, 95.67 for the entire year up to this point. 12 students, 7 middle school and 5 high school are going to be treated to lunch tomorrow and Wednesday for perfect attendance in the fall. When it comes to testing updates, map testing has been done for MOY data. Activities, basketball is in full swing. Junior class hosted bingo night last Thursday. It was successful. I think it raised over $2,000. BPA competed in regionals in Roswell on Friday. Many kids placed in the top 5, qualified for state. Several placed first in their respective competitions. Parent and community engagement. Cody hosted the second quarter parent meeting on, I believe it was Wednesday, the 10th. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Lightly attended, looking to partner with the elementary on a morning coffee with principals event in the spring to get some parent engagement across the district. PD, several staff members are still receiving coaching from By Your Side Mentoring Program. Mr. Paul, the high school math teacher, attended a TI calculator training sponsored by Garrett last week. And we will be getting more calculators for use in the classroom as a result. I think those are going to go into the classroom, start being used next semester. In-service is being planned for January 5th for staff to kick off the spring semester. Discipline school culture, Friday school to address tardies and other minor discipline issues as needed. And so Cody's proposal is if students are going to be tardy and they accumulate a certain amount, I think 4 tardies equals an absence for us. I think she's going off of that for this type of punishment, as well as if you gather that in one class period throughout a grading period, you will go to not Saturday school but Friday school from 8 to noon. And I know some teachers have expressed interest in doing that, and they'll be assigned depending on availability, or if we're using Fridays for professional development, we'll have to work around that. But the expectations are to arrive on time. Doors will be locked, at 8 o'clock, almost like Breakfast Club. Bring schoolwork, their Chromebook, needed materials, whatever we think that they might need. They'll remain in their classroom, no distractions. They'll be working on stuff. Same things come to school, take your phones, turn your phone over. You're not going to be doing that. And again, for kids that accumulate tardies throughout a grading period or demonstrate a pattern of chronic tardiness, And then parents and guardians will be notified, of course, and they'll be responsible for taking their kid to the school and picking them up. Consequences for non-attendance would be ISS the following school day. And, you know, one of the reasons we're doing this is we used to do ISS first hour, and that was effective in getting kids to show up on time. However, some teachers were also getting frustrated because they were missing class time. And so we're trying to find a balance here to give some consequences, but still not take away from learning and making sure these kids are here. And, you know, taking away their Friday mornings, which have been great for a lot of us. And, you know, if there may be an athlete, that might mean they're missing a practice, which is something that they might not want to do. I know Mr. Parker is fixing to kick up some judging and stuff like that. And there might be morning practices or at least practices that start in the afternoon. And it sucked to have to come to Friday school and then skip lunch and go straight to practices or whatever it might be. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your minds. Hopefully it's something we can get going once the new semester starts. And we'll notify parents, we'll notify kids, and make sure that they know that, hey, we need you guys at school. Your attendance is great. Let's just be on time. Let's take that next step to fighting these kids missing school at any bit of school. I lost my place. Oh, final exams will start on Wednesday. There will be no change to our schedule like years past. We have about 60 minutes in the classroom anyways, and teachers have found that's about the target amount of time. Anything over is kind of wasteful. There are going to be some students with exemptions. We did tighten up our no zeros heroes this year, going based off of attendance and in enforcing that no zeros. Nobody's in trouble. You're not missing work. You're maintaining a certain average. It's just not like, hey, I'm just going to show up every single day and I don't, you know, if I could squeak by with a low F or a D, at least I know I'm going to pass my final. We kind of up the standard and make sure they adhere to it. And we still have kids that are meeting that standard. So that's been a great thing to see. Secondary honor roll recognition for the second 9 weeks. First semester will be the 9th at 1 p.m. in the gym. Student of the month for November in the middle school, Anna Worley. In the high school, Briley Rodriguez. Your staff members of the month in the middle school, Mr. Molina, and in the high school, Miss Denning. That's all I have for that portion. Stand for any questions.
I'm good.
On the athletic front, I mean, you guys have seen the track. Basketball, like we said, is in full swing. Come out and support us tomorrow against Dexter in Dexter. That'll be our last game before the break, and then we'll play them again when we come back. Classification alignment came out. Our football district has changed. We are still in one of the toughest districts in the state. Melrose, Gateway, and Tatum remain in our district. They split ours, basically the South District, basically east and west. And so like Lordsburg, Mesilla, Mescalero, and Cloudcroft stayed in that western part. Volleyball, basketball, and track all stayed the same with the exception Gateway moved into our district. So now we are the largest districts in 2A with 7 members in our district. And then cross country, basically saw the same people. They separated 1A and 2A cross country. And so we stayed 2A cross country, and they took our huge district, and a lot of those teams were 1A. So we're still a really, really large district in cross country, just not the 20 or so teams that we used to have. So I think that's all the new stuff. Am I missing anything? So any questions on the athletic front, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions from anyone? Thank you. Parker, you have a review?
Just a little bit. In January, Ms. Reyes, Ms. Dennis and I will be attending the CT Leadership Regional Meeting. This is our first meeting for the APR. It's required for us applying for next gen and purpose grants as we're getting into that season. In February, late January, early February, our APR will open. That's the first part of the data that we report. Okay, we have this many students in this program, this many students over here. Kind of outlining what our next 2 years of CT and Hagerman is going to look like. And then we'll open up for once that's approved, we'll go into our next gen Perkins application. So that's all coming up. I don't think financially our numbers are going to go up much more unless PED changes some stipulations. We are eligible for redistribution now. So we've been in the program for 2.5 years. And so any school that does not accept Perkins or next gen, which quite a few schools do, which surprises me, we are actually eligible now to start receiving that redistribution. So we could receive an extra 10, 15,000 in March or April to go towards this grant cycle currently. So we'll always take the free money if we can get it. A-Rod said, FFA, we're fixing to gear up for our busy season. I was working on our calendar. It's not quite yet. I'm waiting on a couple more dates before I print it out and give you guys a copy. But we're gonna hit it strong in January, wrapping up junior high contest. We'll have junior high LDEs the first part of January, and then we'll transition the chapter LDEs, and directly right after chapter, we're going into CDE season, our judging season. They've added some contests and kind of spread us out. We're not starting as early as we did last year. I felt like we started the first week of February last year, and it was horrible. It was still so cold. But we'll start mid-February and go all the way until April this year. We'll travel the third weekend of February, all the way up until the last weekend of March for invitationals, and then the second week of April will be our state contest. So any kid who qualifies or teams that qualify. So we're looking forward to that. It's gonna be a really good time. I do want to say thank you guys for letting me go to Nashville and attend the NAA conference. I had the privilege of impacting and training over 250 ag teachers across the nation on inquiry-based learning and applying agrivoltaics. So that was really exciting. I was able to bring back some new skills and make some new connections. If you guys remember the Harvard Break Tools for Schools grant, I was part of top 50. The CEO of that program is actually going to come tour our facility January or February time. He wants to understand why I made top 50 and no one else in New Mexico has made top 50. It's his exact email. And so I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm excited to host him, kind of showcase, hopefully it's some better luck for us when we apply again in March for the application process. But for that, I stand for questions.
Any questions? Thanks, Brent. All right, next item, approval of the minutes from our regular meeting of November 17th and the special meeting on December 1st. And the bills and things for the month of November 20th.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Dusty,
I will second.
by Trevor. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. New business, budget adjustments. Any more questions from Ms. Jolene on those? No questions, I just need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Dusty,
I will second.
second by Trevor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Item B, MOU for the,
Okay, so, the memorandum of understanding, and I have a copy here. President Moss, for your signature if you decide to approve this. And I think a copy was sent to you as well. So, basically, this is the MOU for the, between the town of Hagerman and Hagerman Municipal Schools. And basically what it does, it establishes the terms of vacating and transferring the ownership of portions of St. Charles Street and then North Cambridge Avenue to the school district so that we may be, incorporated into the school campus. The purpose of the agreement is to improve student safety, campus security, and then of course the operational efficiency while maintaining the necessary public and municipal access. So I did send this MOU to our legal counsel and it was approved by them as well. They believe it's okay and we should proceed with it. So under this MOU, basically, Hagerman Municipal Schools, we will assume the ownership and then the maintenance responsibilities for the annexed roads while ensuring that St. Charles Street remains open to the public 24/7. And I'm hoping that it will be minimal traffic there. And then we will also coordinate with the town of Hagerman before making any changes. And then we will protect the existing utility easements along the North Cambridge Avenue. And, and I know that this was the only way that the town they would allow us to annex the street. So the approval of this MOU, just allows the district to move forward with the campus planning while preserving the public access. And the only way that PSFA will participate in paying for any projects, it will be through, once the MOU is signed, and then, we have the rights of the streets. Then, PSFA will be able to pay for it. Now, for us, the only thing is that we do have to pay for the replanting of the street. It will be about $20,000. And North Star will be, or no, it's Bohannon Houston that will be doing that. And that we can use that and pay that through bonds money. However, for the replanting, PSFA does not pay for anything. But once we have it, it's under our name, then we will be able to, or PSFA will be able to pay for any upgrades or anything that the streets will require, or any of the building.
Any questions? Mary, did you want to read this or? No.
How long is this MOU good for?
Maybe 60, 75 years from now, it will still be in place.
I didn't see like a term, so I was just curious.
Yeah, it's really just pretty much forever.
So we can't build anything on top of where Cambridge is?
Yes, Cambridge, yes, because basically this street right here from Aberdeen all the way to, like actually before St. Charles, then part of the school will be built there, part of the track, actually.
Right.
Mhm. St. Charles, and that's the purpose of opening St. Charles, because the traffic will be able to, the public will be able to use that, and especially the property owners from here around the area.
Do those houses down there, does that sewer come down Cambridge for their houses?
I think the sewer stuff comes back here. The only thing I know, I think comes up front is the water.
Mhm.
It comes through here.
To gotcha.
But sewer will be rerouted back here too, it'll stay, I think.
And
It's
basically,
really just water. It's
yes,
Water.
so the town of Hagerman, they will continue to retain the, access to the utilities, so we need to make sure that we have, this street down here, which is, St. Charles, because, and then they will be able to collaborate with the school for future infrastructure planning.
Say that again, which one?
So the town will retain the, access to the utilities.
Yeah, it's just an
Mhm.
easement, right?
Mhm.
And I think they don't plan to put any like sidewalks or anything on
No.
it. It has to be destroyed, like anything that'll be affected by that easement.
Okay.
Just be grass. Cause they have to relocate some other easement stuff that's on the backside too, right?
Yes.
I think, and move it.
And again, the approval of this MOU will allow the district to be able to move forward and with the, just preserving the public access, the utility rights, and then just having a strong coordination with the town.
Does the gas line run down through the middle too?
I think it's not the gas, and I think, Gary?
Yeah,
Water is
part of
over
the
here.
gas comes down the middle of the street. The other part is on the other side of the cafeteria. We do have a water line coming over this other side this side of Stevie Aguilar's that comes in between the maintenance shop and the old portable and goes to the high school. But I'm hoping they'll still have two ways of sending the water to the new school, so in case one line goes down, we have a backup system. That's what I told the architects.
And I really don't know what my parents, the water's in the front, but I'm not sure what it's fed, because I don't think their leak over here affected their water.
I think they're
it's
fed
good
from
enough.
this line that comes.
So it may not be much. It's
Might
still-
not be much. Okay.
I think I remember them saying that they tried to keep the school separate from like the residential areas because of the pressure, the water pressure or something.
Okay.
But there's some utilities in the back there that I think they're gonna tie into all that stuff for the new building. So there won't be much here, or if anything.
Okay. Well, I will make the motion to approve.
Trevor,
I'll second.
Dusty, all those in favor say aye.
Uh-huh.
All those opposed say nay. Okay. MOU's passed.
Thank you.
Next item is the elementary presentation.
Put on paper, just in case. So I'm gonna review New Mexico Vistas, all our data information. So if you open up to the first page, this is just an overview. So this is for the 2024-2025 school year. The total enrollment at that time was 216 students, serving pre-K students to fifth grade, the district of Hagerman Municipal Schools. And then we are at labeled traditionals for the Every Student Succeeds Act school designation. So the traditional means that the school is meeting minimum federal expectations overall, and then that there's no mandatory federal intervention plans that are required, and that we still maintain local control over like improvements, efforts, rather than state-directed corrective actions. And then, so the data may still show growth, areas for growth, but there's no subgroup or overall performances that triggered federal sanctions. So you can go to the next page. School score for Hagerman Elementary is 48.1. So this score helps families and communities understand overall school performance, and it's based on multiple measures, including like academic performance, English learning progress, attendance, and other indicators of school success, using measures selected with input from stakeholders across schools. The next page is all the proficiencies across the board. So its math proficiency was at 32%, reading proficiency is at 41%, and then the science proficiency is masked. I'll go through and break down each section at a time. So I'll start first with math proficiency. That's at 32%, which means 32% of tested students are performing at or above grade level expectations in math-based state assessments. So that's gonna be our students that are in third grade and above who are tested on New Mexico MASA. And the percentage reflects only students who participate in testing, so it might adjust based on the students who participated. So what this means is that the students are performing at or above grade level. When you look at the math performance levels, which is 43.2%, This is a weighted measure of overall students' performance in math, so it reflects how students performed across all 4 state performance levels, not whether they met proficiency, so that's including some growth. It gives partial and extra credits. The performance level index is always higher than the straight proficiency rate, so the 43.2% indicates overall students are making progress toward proficiency, even if they have not met the grade level expectation yet. So the math performance level of 43.2% shows overall math achievement using weighted credit for students who are near, at, or above proficiency, providing a broader picture than proficiency alone. So if you turn to the page that says 2025, 2026 current initiatives for math, what is happening currently to be able to continue to show improvement is professional development. So we have working on like math professional development. We have created a math team to help with our adoption. And so one of the things that we did was we went to a high quality instructional material professional development, which really went into like what is curriculum, what are we looking at, what are we putting in front of students and how we're keeping it rigorous. And then we're looking into like reviewing our options for the following year for math, and then standard alignment for the 26-27 school year. And I'll speak a little more about that once we get into reading. The other current initiative is our adoption for the following year. So like I said, we created a math team. We have materials already set up in our school for the community, teachers, and students to look at when we're considering this new math adoption, and then researching math curriculum already that is approved by the state of New Mexico, and then is high quality instructional material. And the other part is attendance. We know that the lack of attendance has a direct and significant impact on student learning in this last year, the attendance was at 89.1%. And so students who miss school miss direct instruction, guided practice, and that can be fully replaced. The other initiative that we currently have is tutoring. So we have math tutoring from now until March, and then in March, it's going to turn into reading tutoring. So we have those things happening outside of the school day. Do we have any questions about math before I move into reading? All right, so reading proficiency is at 41%. So 41% of students are performing at or above grade level expectations in reading. Again, this is 3rd through 8th grade students who did the New Mexico MASA assessment. Our reading proficiency is 41%, which means of the assessed students are reading at or above grade level expectations. And then our reading performance level is 58.5%. And again, that's the weighted measure of overall student reading performance across all achievement levels. And this is at the index that indicates that many students are close to or exceeding grade level reading expectation, even if they are not yet proficient. On the current initiatives, so professional development, again, going to that high quality instructional material professional development really showed us that where we are at with our curriculum, and then how do we continue to strengthen what we have instead of like constantly changing it and then restarting from the beginning. The RISE professional development that I spoke about earlier really talked about standard-driven instruction and really aligning what we're teaching to the standards, so that even if we have new curriculum coming in, we're not losing like our focus of being standard-driven. And then we're strengthening our SAT team right now and making sure that we are cutting out time so that they are able to plan and make sure that they are having the meetings required to be able to really assist student in their development and see if they need, if they're just tier 2 students and need a little more support, or if there's something deeper and they need to be sent out for testing. And then structural literacy professional development is ongoing throughout the school year. We had something at the beginning of the school year. Now we had Orton Gillingham at the middle of the year, and then we'll continue to strengthen our structural literacy with professional development. And then that also falls into the New Orleans professional development that's happening in March, is also around structural literacy. Standard alignment is something that I would really like to get started with our literacy right now, because I think we have a nice foundation. And so starting there and then later on moving into math and really strengthening that with the new adoption. So right now, what I'm currently working on is aligning all of our expectations in reading, creating a document that supports standard alignment, PLC that's data-driven, and then vertical planning from there. And again, this all ties into like attendance is important because it's a direct impact to student instruction. And then the last portion is science proficiency, and that's masked. And the reason it's masked is just because there weren't enough number of students tested. It was too small to be able to really give the data. And so that information is masked. And so then it shows like the proficiency, but again, there wasn't really a lot that I could speak on. And then the last page is growth. So our math growth, we're at the 37th percentile, and the reading growth is also the 37th percentile, which means math and reading growth is slightly below the typical range for a year's academic growth when compared to similar students statewide who had similar prior test scores. And so percentiles between 34 and 66 represent about 1 year of expected growth. So 37th percentile indicates students are growing, but at the lower end of the expected range. And that is a summary on the New Mexico basis for Hagerman Elementary. Questions?
Any questions?
So did we grow at all from last year's scores?
We did, and then you could go into the New Mexico business, and so what we would have to do is go to the.
keyword.
This is last year's scores.
This
This
is,
is
and
We haven't
referring to
data this year.
23.
Okay.
Where's the keyboard?
It's right here, I'm trying to turn that off.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what is happening?
Go ahead and look for 23, 24, and then you can see that.
Yeah, you don't get your data until,
Tax brackets. Oh, I don't know what happened.
we won't get this
Deep into
year's
next
data
year, like,
until next year this time.
we didn't get this to start the school year, we got this after the school year started.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the 23, 24, you there?
And it says 23, 24.
Yes.
And then, okay, so total enrollment was 207.
So it's, okay, that is the school district at 45. So if you look at the elementary,
Or what?
hit the X on that one.
Okay, so view by schools.
You are going to make sure that you're looking at the elementary only.
But this is the whole district.
That's the whole district, so you would have to go
That says,
to,
it says elementary.
Is that elementary?
Yes.
okay, so that's,
Yeah, Hagerman Elementary.
okay,
Okay. So then if we go to the growth is what we're looking at right now, so 32nd percentile too. So it dropped in reading. And then over here.
so math actually was, you grew because I was 32 there.
So this is, if we look at the proficiencies, which is the first page.
Yes. From 26 to 32%, so yes. Now, reading, look at the reading
Yeah. So
from 29 to 41, so
41%.
yes.
Okay. All right, as long as we're going up.
Yes, yes, sir. Totally agree.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. I guess anyone else doing this weekend?
Got it, yeah.
It's on the other side.
Okay, we'll start with the middle school. Overall score, 54.2. Puts us as traditional and right smack dab pretty much in the middle of their spectrum that they got. Overall academic performance for math, the proficiency rate was 15.4%. Below the district average, which was 21.6%, and the state average, which was 24.6%. So we are down in math performance levels. A large portion, 80% of students performed at either level 1 or level 2, so novice or near proficiency. Fewer than 10% reached the proficient 3 or the advanced level. Still one of our biggest challenges. We're trying to get the kids up on foundational skills, and we know that this is a weak spot for us. On reading achievement in the middle school, 44.6%, above the district average of 39.2, slightly above the state average of 43.1. Performance level, 44.6 were either proficient or advanced, so level 3, level 4. And then 53.9 were either 1 or 2. So just kind of cut it in half, and either half of them are doing really good or half of them need some work to do to be proficient. It is a strength, and it's an area that we can continue to build from. Science, same thing, it is masked. Kind of looking at individual student data, there are some areas and some needs that we need to be addressed. There's not nearly as many students at level 3 or level 4 that we need them to be on. But I think it's going to be good. It's going to get there. I know consistency is going to help a whole lot, and having Mr. Molina there, this is his second year. Next year is going to be even better. Student growth in math, we're in the median growth percentile, 43rd percentile, which is below the state's typical growth range, anywhere 34 to 66 percentile. In reading, 58th percentile, which is slightly above the state's average. Looking at some of the trends, several students, particularly Hispanic males, have shown growth in the 60s to 90th range among that demographic. Reading is still a big positive here, and math is something that we definitely need to target and work on improving. English learner progress, students on track to make proficiency. That's masked due to the small size. The benchmark is 21.9% on track. Still limited, but still an area that we need to focus on. Attendance, again, is very good based off of last year's in the middle school, 85.1%. It is below the district average, but way above the state average. And it's one area that we have specifically targeted, and we've seen improvements on, and we know that if we can make improvements in one area, we can make improvements in another area. And so we've already started looking at math and having conversations on how we can boost our math scores and improve there. Priority focus areas for improvement, math achievement. We need to increase interventions, small group instruction, align the curriculum. Same thing with science. Target those kids and those areas that we need to improve upon. Continue monitoring the attendance so that doesn't slip at all, and then make sure we provide support to English learners, kids on IEPs, and making sure that we are covering all our bases. Looking ahead, possible action steps to consider for next school year, some sort of math acceleration, intervention blocks, specific time for math interventions and strategies, small group tutoring, reading momentum, strengthen existing frameworks that are showing success, maintain and progress monitor, science, going back to the inquiry-based learning, vocabulary development, hands-on projects, and then making sure that we keep doing what we're doing for attendance. Any questions for middle school?
I have a question. So what is the difference between non-English learners and migrant families?
Okay, so pretty much the migrant families and then the English learners, they're the same. The only thing is that the migrant means that they come and go.
Okay.
Okay, and usually the ELL, they are here, they're established here, but some of the kids are the same. So that's the only thing, you know, that the English language learners, they have not been able to pass there's an exam that they have to take. It's called the WIDA, the Access exam, and they take it every year just to be able to see their language proficiency. And it usually takes anywhere from 5 to 7 years for an English learner to be able to become proficient in English. With the migrant, unfortunately, it takes them a little bit longer because they are here for probably 4 months, then they have to go back to their country another 4 months. And so they do lose a lot of instruction. We are very lucky with the kids that we have, our migrant kids, because they have actually, those kids, and I'm very proud of them, kudos to them, because they're still taking classes. They're taking class, they come to school here full-time, but then they're also taking online courses through Mexico so that they don't lose anything. Now, they're gonna do the same thing for us. And so they will be leaving again pretty soon, so they're gonna remain taking online courses through us here too, so that they don't lose that, their momentum, let's put it that way. But that's about the only thing, but that's a migrant, they kind of come and go, but they're also considered ELL.
Okay.
So this might apply to the high school too. So would student turnover rate or teacher turnover rate, does that affect any of these scores any? I mean, I know it affects the kids but does it affect the scores?
When we go to root cause analysis, that's one thing that we can definitely target as one of those areas for why we're struggling. There's a lack of consistency, or almost like an ever revolving door in like the math department can definitely put us at a disadvantage. And so one thing that we've already started to have conversation is what are some strategies and programs that we can implement that pretty much stand the test of time, like even if there is turnover and, almost like, hey, can you teach math? Or can you teach reading, whatever it might be, whatever subject we're struggling in, what can we put in place that is uniform and consistent no matter what? And so like thinking back, it's gonna be different next year. And it's been changing crazy the past few years. Now we're on a 4-day school week. And now everybody's gonna be relocated for, who knows, a year, 2 years, 2.5 years. What's that gonna look like? We're gonna have to come up with creative ways to, minimize any incidents or cross-contamination between middle school and high school students. What does that do to our schedule? How can we support them? Are we going to have to share teachers? Is it going to be easier to share teachers here? And so just kind of thinking of these problems and solutions that we can find, we're talking about, okay, we're going to have to be deliberate in how we schedule and how we plan next year. Can we fit in some intervention time specifically for math? And can we find instructional strategies or things that we can provide to every teacher to help support math, and whether it be skills or investigations or whatever it might be, just look at the data, or we have to focus on this standard or this skill set and try to support our kids and our teachers to make those improvements. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
Moving on to high school is unfortunately pretty much copy and paste. Very similar score, 55.5, puts us as traditional, but we're still right there in the middle. So we have an area that we need to improve upon, and it is still math. Math is really, really low. English it is higher than math, but it still needs to be improved on our reading, not English, reading. High amount of kids that are level 1, level 2, not that many that are 3 or 4. And the same goes with science. That's also masked just because there's such a small sample size. But again, looking at individual results and kind of placing them where we think they would be, not that many kids are proficient in that subject as well. So we know that we're struggling. We know that there's a lot of work to do, and we're trying to figure out, like I said, programs that can address those needs in those areas of concern. On the high school graduation outcomes, 4-year graduation rate for the class of 2024 was 79.4%, which is near the state average. Growth trends over the past years indicate a decline of 4.8 percentage points. Extended graduation rates are still a strength. 5-year the 5-year rate is 90%, the 6-year rate is 92%. So some of those kids that are struggling and missing credits and have to maybe come back to summer school or maybe do it a year over again. They are, for the most part, finishing, or at least at a higher rate. College and career readiness, student engagement in college and career coursework remains high, 85.5% of students participating in CCR programs or coursework. CCR success rate stands at 51.3%, which is below the statewide average. We'll be strengthening instructional support structures within CTE and dual credit environments, improved academic monitoring, enhanced student coaching, and will remain priorities for both to maintain high participation levels and improve completion outcomes. Attendance is high, 94. We freaked out when we were looking at data because we were looking at not last year's, but the year before that, and we're like, there's no way. I think it was like at 79 or like 84%. And we're like, there's no way this is right. There's no way this is right. Well, then we figured out, oh, it's for a prior year. And we looked at our data and it reflected the work that, the strategies that we did, getting the kids to school and having them stay in school. 94.4% of students, regular attendance. And we're rocking and rolling when it comes to that. And that's continuing on this year. English learner progress, again, small sample size. It's going to be masked. But we do have other means to monitor their progress and make sure that we are supporting them. Strengths and challenges, key strengths, again, attendance, participation in college and career coursework opportunities, strong extended graduation. Key challenges, low proficiency rates in math, reading, and science. Again, a lot of kids at that low level, level 1 or level 2. And key strategic focus for improvement, instructional enhancement, strengthening tier 1 core strategies, targeted interventions, like we said, what do we need to do? Graduation monitoring, we constantly are on kids that are starting to fall behind in credit. We have meetings with them. We have meetings with their parents. We set forth graduation plans and kind of show them a path like, hey, you're struggling here, but here's your pathway for success, and this is how we're going to support you and try to keep you on that path. And then constantly notify parents of that. Post-secondary success, increasing instructional academic supports for dual credit and CTE courses, and then progress monitoring. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all she has. So I stand for any questions.
The website is not very user-friendly for me. It's easy, you just go in there.
Or do you want to open it? Is
Well,
there
it shows,
anything
I like
in
the
particular?
district says, well, it's easy. Come on, Trevor.
well, it showed everything for the high school is math, reading.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
it's, are you going into subgroups? It should give us an overview for the high school.
Hit the X on that one. So our attendance for the whole year, I know it showed at 79 point something percentage. Daniel and I, we looked at the, pretty much like the designations and how the kids are coded, and some of the students were coded differently. So for example, if they move to out of state, then there's a different code and it doesn't affect us. So it should be much higher. Is that the,
This is the current year, yeah. Middle school right
For
now.
middle school. All the middle school stuff was up, but it wasn't up for the high school. High school.
so our high school is 55.5, and then, we could also look at the 23, 24, and I believe we went up. If you recall, for I think it was 22, 23, we were considered CSI. It's a school needs of improvement, so we were able to get out of that designation And it's really difficult, you know, and it shows that it's masked because we do not have enough students. They only at the high school now, Penn, what they're trying to do is be able to come up with an exam that the freshmen can take. It would be for pretty much every grade level. However, for this, they only use the SAT. And it's only for the juniors. So if we have a small, okay, think about whenever we have this year, the current freshmen, we only have 12 kids in that class. When they get to be juniors, then we get rated for just 12 kids. And it's very unfair. So it's really not enough
So the
kids.
following year, we're gonna have this.
It will probably be for the next, 3 years. Maybe this year we'll be okay with the juniors, or maybe not.
Juniors will have a couple heavy years.
Yeah, I mean, it went down just a hair. It was 59 point something, I think, last year.
Now, if you look at the middle school went down because last year we were actually considered a spotlight. And we went down. And what happens is that, and I was telling the administrators, we need to come up with ways that we can encourage the kids to take these exams seriously, because sometimes, they're like 10 minutes and they were done. Oh, I'm done. I'm like, no, there's no way. There is no way that they can be done in 10 minutes. Oh, Parker, that's gonna take you forever.
I know.
Okay, there it is. No, you're looking for Hagerman Middle. There. So this year, Hagerman Middle School, we are traditional. However, last year, we were spotlight, so we went down, and it's 54.2. I really think that this year we will be able to get back up there to be ranked as spotlight. We have probably like a good 64% of our students that are AB honor roll. So if we can get these kids to be able to take it seriously, we should be okay. Now, as you can see here, the reading proficiency, it was amazing, 45% for the middle school. Can you put it up a little bit? There you go, okay. And then, but the math was not very good at all. But then again,
This is based on the freshman scores.
correct. Again, it's been really difficult to be able to have consistency with math teachers for probably 5 or 6 years. So we have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to math.
I think the juniors have had like 5 math teachers.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to go back to the 23-24.
Not counting the long-term subs.
Correct.
23-24.
23-24. And you will see the difference from the middle school.
So,
Okay, look at that, 62%. So that gave us the designation of a spotlight. If you keep scrolling. And look at the math. So we dropped down 10%. That's significant. And then we also dropped down on for the reading.
And that's this year's sophomores.
Mhm.
and we had enough in science to get a science school.
Yes.
That was a
Yes.
big junior class that
I
year.
don't think they masked it for whatever reason, because that was a small class too.
So there's 65 students.
There's not 61.
There's not.
There's only
There was like maybe 20 something at that point,
18.
and that was large for that group.
18 maybe.
So for whatever
Yeah.
reason, they're like, oh yeah, you guys
Yeah, it was
did
18.
all right.
I don't know if they've ever had them.
They
So I'm hoping that this year, because we had the same math teacher at the middle school level for a couple of years, so we should be okay. At the high school, of course, they started with one teacher, now they have another one, so it's just hoping for the best.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
To Ms. Reyes now.
Okay, I think Ava pretty much took over my short presentation here. So I really wanted Decker to come today, or not necessarily come, but be able to join us online. But I did send them an email since Thursday, and they barely responded today, but we had already done the agenda. So they'll probably be either here next month, or they will be joining us next month. But I have a little bit of notes. I gave you the presentation, so I know that President Moss and Mr. Trevor, you guys came into y'all were here for the meeting. So I just have a few notes from that meeting. So basically, I just want to be able to provide you with some, an important update regarding the construction of the new school. And pretty much the overall project is still moving forward. So we have some changes that, some just overall project is still moving forward, but then we have some changes that are necessary to how the project will be phased. And so I'm just gonna, tell you a little bit about what has changed and why. So the original plan of the new school was designed to be built in one phase. So that was the expectation when the project was first discussed and approved. So now it has changed slightly, or I don't want to say slightly. So recently we had a meeting with Decker and our construction committee. There's probably about 15 of us in that committee. So Decker shared findings from some of so basically, we had a site survey that was completed, and Decker shares some of those drainage surveys. So based on those surveys, it was determined that multiple water retention ponds are required to be built for the project. So one of those retention ponds must be built in the location of our current high school. And because of that, the construction of the new building cannot begin until the retention pond is pretty much completed. And so what does this mean for us? So basically, as the result, the current high school classrooms will need to be temporarily vacated. I know the teachers are not going to take this very well, but it will need to be temporarily vacated. The building will be demolished so that the retention pond can be constructed. And then, this requires us to temporarily relocate the high school students, teachers to the middle school. And so after receiving this information from Decker, so actually I had a meeting, and I had A-Rod I invited A-Rod to be part of the first meeting that, with Decker. So then I immediately met with the administrative team. So then we pretty much developed a detailed plan to utilize every available space across, the district, so that instruction can continue without interruption. So the plan is for the high school classrooms to temporarily relocate to the middle school. So we would have half the high school in one part of the school, the middle school, and then the middle school, part of the other one. So every classroom space will be used, including the boardroom here. The plan is to have the CTE shop, they will temporarily relocate to the maintenance, our current maintenance building. We are also looking at repurposing the existing storage areas to potentially house our technology. So for example, if you know that old building that's right over there where I keep the superintendent vehicle, so that there's a possibility that we can be able to make sure that we can use that for the technology department and the business classes. So of course, PSFA and PSCOC, they will approve and support any necessary upgrades needed to make these spaces functional, safe, and then of course complying for instructional use. They will there's another option that we can do, and more likely this will probably not be approved. However, it has been approved for many other schools, but I don't think for us will be the best option, because what we could do is be able to move in some modulars, those portable classrooms. However, the cost is about $500,000 per building, and we will probably need quite a few of those. But I don't think that we really need it. We don't need them because we have a lot of classrooms that we will be able to use here. So we do have a meeting scheduled for this Wednesday, and I invited the administrators to be part of it as well. It will be on the 17th. It will be with the Decker team, their IT department, and our district IT department. And the purpose of this meeting would be to ensure that there's a solid technology plan, because we definitely need to make sure that we have a technology plan before we move the high school, everybody over here, because we do have, Daniel, are you there?
The drop, for all the internet is located right behind the current hack shop. So that.
Yes, I am online.
Can you tell us a little bit about the technology that we currently are housing over at the high school, all the wiring, everything?
So the main connection from LECO comes in directly to the high school right behind Mr. Parker's classroom. That will need to be relocated, just because if the high school building will be coming down, we need to make sure it's moved to a different location, make sure we can distribute internet to all of our buildings. I was also thinking about this the other day, but all of our intercoms are housed from the high school. So we will need to figure out a solution for intercoms in all the buildings, just because we have a current wired system. We may need to figure out a way to set them up, pretty much purchase IP-based speakers just to make sure that they work over our network, rather than having to rewire every single speaker in the district. Those are the two main things that I can think of that are going directly into my office, but faxes and stuff are other things that may drop into my office that we will probably need to relocate to the garage storage unit out to the side. And those will be things that end up being pretty pricey, but will probably need to happen to make sure that we remain online and connected.
Thank you, Daniel. And again, the purpose of that, the meeting that we will be having on the 17th, is to make sure that we have a solid technology plan. And then PSFA will pay for this, because, so for example, this classroom over here, well, it's really not a classroom, that shed that is pretty beat up. If we can use half of it for the technology room, then the other half, it could be like a business class. Then PSFA will come in and make sure that they will fix it up and, make it available for for instruction. At the end of the day, with this plan, I think PSFA will approve this, versus bringing the modulars, because, I think we do have the space. We will be probably kind of crowded in here. We do have to utilize every single space, including this room here. This will be a science room. The board meeting will we have to relocate either to the cafeteria, central office, or possibly the church.
The auditorium, that's good to have.
The auditorium, it looks like it will probably be one of the first ones to be demolished. I know.
I didn't see that the last meeting, though.
They did mention it, prior to the last meeting, but there's a possibility. So we would have to wait on that. So, of course, all of this movement will take place over the summer. So it's really coming up. I know we are going to be very busy this summer, and we do recognize that it will be, just a busy time. But, we are confident that it can happen, and we will be okay. I know here at the middle school, we currently have like 3 classrooms that are being used by the REC. Like one classroom alone, it's being used for speech. Another one, it's being used for OT. So basically, they will have one room. PSFA will probably put some partitions and have them all in one room. If we need to use, so I already gave you, Cody, right away, she got busy, and you should have, at the end of your packet, you should have this form right here, and basically it just says, where everybody will be relocated to. So we do have a classroom for everybody. If we need to use the upstairs room, we could easily, that room is big enough that we could have 2 classrooms. But we will have to make it happen.
Depending on how many kids in a class, you could almost half this room.
Yes. Okay, so I stand for questions with this. I know that this change is very unexpected, but it is necessary to move the project forward. And it's coming up.
My question was, so you're saying some of these will have to be upgraded and inspected in order for us to use them? But how long will it take to get a contractor to actually get these upgraded so this can be started?
So in reality, the classrooms, what we currently have, they're already being used, so we probably have to have the maintenance shop. That one needs to be cleaned up, and of course, all of that stuff. Gary's maintenance stuff will probably be moved over to the bus barn. The buses, I'm not sure where we will put them, we would have to find a place for them. So that would be Gary's maintenance shop over there. Parker will be moving over here, so that's going to be very difficult because, and I don't know what PSFA will do. There was talk that there's a possibility that we could leave Parker for another year right over there where he's at. However, I just don't see, if there's going to be construction going on, I don't see sending kids over there. We also have to think about their safety. I don't think that any of the classrooms here, I think they'll be okay, where, all we have to do is just bring their furniture and teacher stuff and they'll be okay. Probably if we do get to use the upstairs room, which is right now it's the Zumba room, and that one, it's just, it will require having partitions. Now, the other one that will need a lot of work is where that shed over there, by St. Charles, that one will need a lot of work. But I think it's doable. So that's one of the ones that will require a lot of work. And so that means that Decker will have to act very quickly.
And then just saying with Parker moving, as Decker or whatever, we're reclaiming all that new duct system and all that we had put in earlier this year, right?
And I don't know exactly what because they do plan on using all of that stuff to the new building.
Okay.
So I don't know if they will move it over here and then again, a second time. So we have more.
That's a list of my questions for when I meet with Decker again. I attended the meeting on Zoom and it was too hard to try to ask those questions, and so I was jotting them down.
Well, I'm sure Decker will bring in connexes, put stuff in connexes if they're gonna reuse.
And then, of course, the first thing that will need to happen is that they have to go, Decker and then myself, and, possibly Mr. Moss would probably have to go to Santa Fe and be able to petition for this, then PSFA will approve that. And I think that they will, because they're not going to pay $500,000, and they will. They will pay $500,000 for the modulars. But if we can save that money, then we should be okay. Now, the good thing is that if we can, like, for example, the shed where I keep the vehicle, that one could be a classroom, and that could be, because what they do, if it's intended for instructional purposes, PSFA will use that, they will fix it up, and then at the end of whenever we're done, it's already fixed and we get to keep it.
Where would we put modulars?
If we get the modulars, they would probably have to be back here, because that's the only space that we have, which is behind the middle school. So,
That's why I was thinking either here or the football field.
so, you know, the form that, you know, I gave you, it's actually, we have every teacher from the middle school and every teacher from the high school. So we have space for everybody.
So y'all have a pretty good challenge making schedules next year.
Yes. But you know what? I've always said that it takes a village. And if everybody works together, I think it's doable.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Decker would have done a great job, you know, presenting this, so I just gave you the gist. But they will be here or either online for next month, and be able to give you an update.
What are you doing with the old band room? Which one is it on here?
So the old band room, it's big enough, and I'm thinking that we could possibly have the therapy, you know, like speech, the TOSAs, and then what's the other one, the physical therapy. I think all of them could be there, and then we could possibly have, I mean, that one has 2 offices. So maybe even the speech could be in one of the offices. A-Rod, poor A-Rod. We have them in one of the, it's a really, really small storage area, and that would be his office. Over here in the office, it would be Cody, Ms. Dunn, and the secretaries. So it's going to be difficult.
Well, I mean, is there any way we could use one of the nurses' rooms as an office or because she has a pretty big.
She has a pretty big one, and we might even have to put Rosa in there, and we're just gonna have to figure that out, yes. Any other questions? Okay, next item. So I did send you an email earlier, probably last month. So we do have David Chavez from CES and Ms. Leanne Gandy, also from CES, that they would like to continue, you know, creating our strategic planning. And so they will be here January the 21st from 1 p.m. to approximately 7. I know that's a long time. I will provide dinner for this, and basically what we are looking for this is to be able to create, it's a 5-year strategic plan with our goals. Where do you want the district to be, you know, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? And basically what it's done with administrators, we have teachers, we have community members, you know, parents, a few students from the middle school, possibly a few from the elementary. It's everybody's input. And, you know, what is it? Where do we want Hagerman to be?
What did you say the day was?
This is going to be on January the 21st from 1 p.m. to approximately 7 p.m. And if you could look at your calendars and let me know if we do have more than 3 of you, then I need to make sure that I provide an agenda and just say that there's no action will be taken, and basically it's just you guys will be here together. And
I can make it. I don't know if I can make it for the whole
the whole time. I know that's a Destry
Yeah, it's a long.
but you know, and it's totally understandable. It's totally understandable. I know it's a long time. And maybe they won't use the entire time, but you know, it's
gonna be hard for me. I don't think I'm gonna,
okay.
because we're leaving the next day, so.
But I, you know, if possible, you could provide input and, you know, where do you want the district? What's your vision? Okay, so next is, I just want to mention to you that the NMSBA Winter Conference, this is the annual legislative session. It will be in Santa Fe. And I already sent emails to everybody and, you know, right now I have confirmation from all of you, so thank you. As soon as the hotel notifications, as soon as we get those, we will create those, and it is scheduled from February the 5th through the 7th. And right now, all 5 of you indicated that you will be attending, so thank you. I believe it is going to be at the El Dorado, so I'm just hoping that we can get those rooms there. And if not, I'm gonna try it. If it's not the El Dorado, it will be the Santa Fe Hilton, which is right next door. Not 2 miles away.
Those ones last year were nice.
It was nice, it was very
They had
nice.
like a bus. You could ride
Yes,
wherever
they had
you
a
wanted in
shuttle.
the city.
Mhm.
I mean, those are
They'd come pick you up anywhere.
anywhere.
Yes, it was really nice, and the rooms, I mean, just beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So as soon as, you know, those, we'll go ahead and I'll get Carmen to do the reservations. And then last item, I just want to let you know, you're cordially invited to, we're having a staff Christmas, I guess you could say dinner. It is scheduled for this Wednesday, December the 17th at 4 p.m. and all of you are invited. And I left a bag for each of you, so thank you for everything you do, and I hope you enjoy it. And when you go to Santa Fe, pack your stuff in there. And thank you very much for everything you'll do.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have nothing further. Trevor, I told Jolene will be out of there early today. She says, don't say it. But I tried.
7:30, it's not bad.
No, not at all.
Definitely been later.
No wonder you're slow. Wondering. 20 minutes.
So the record, Robert Jolly has the record, we had a soil and water meeting, that was 12 minutes.
We'll never beat that.
I don't know. I can try it next month.
Maybe the summer months.
Not even through the summer.
Any questions for Ms. Reyes? On anything?
No, sir.
Okay. We're done, then I just need a motion to adjourn.
I will make the motion.
I will second.
Trevor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We adjourn at 7:34.